With its straightforward and approachable method of presenting history, Pawn Stars has captivated audiences for almost 20 years. Because it focuses on common people and activities, the program has given millions of fans excitement and enjoyment. Co-founder of the program and the pawn shop, Rick Harrison, is in charge of his staff and has dedicated a significant portion of his life to expanding the business. Rick has had difficulties in his personal life despite his success in his career, such as a protracted court struggle that almost split his family. We now examine the disturbing new information that has surfaced about Rick and the implications for his year. Richard, the old man, Benjamin Harrison and Joanne Rue Harrison welcomed Rick, whose full name is Richard Kelvin Harrison, into the world on March 22, 1965. Along with his siblings Chris and Joseph, he was the third of 4 children. Despite their father's frequent absences due to his service in the U.S. Navy, the family resided in Lexington, North Carolina. Since Rick's sister Cher was born with Down syndrome and her medical expenses were partially covered by their father's military career, his absence was required. Cher tragically died at the age of 6. Their father, who conveyed the intense anguish of losing his daughter, was devastated by this tragic incident. Hours of dedication. Even in the brief time we had her, Sherry was the brightest part of my life. Rick was only a year old when Sherry died, thus he was too young to develop a relationship with her. He would not have been able to handle the disaster. Due to his father's employment transfer, the family moved to San Diego, California. By the time Rick turned 2, for little Rick, growing up in the shadow of a beloved sibling was extremely difficult, especially in light of the profound effect Sherry's passing had on his parents. But at the age of 8, he started having epileptic convulsions, which quickly made him the focus of their attention. He became a voracious reader as a result of these seizures, which frequently left him bedridden for extended periods of time. In addition to being fascinated by exciting stories, Rick was also quite interested in history and physics, especially the Royal Navy in the late 1700s and early 1800s. When he did eventually go to school, he enrolled in the San Diego Unified School District's Taft Middle School. Rick became a hustler because he was naturally curious and had an entrepreneurial mentality. He left high school to concentrate on his business of selling phony Gucci purses, which brought in $2,000 a week. His parents' real estate company failed, and the Harrison family relocated to Las Vegas, Nevada, in April 1981. Rick's father set up store on Las Vegas Boulevard selling used gold and silver coins. Rick's life changed when his girlfriend Kim became pregnant, while he was bar with Kim miscarrying and both of them losing their first child. This was Rick's first sorrow. The young couple chose to be married since their shared sadness drew them closer together rather than causing them to drift away. They had their first child, Corey, in 1983, and their second, Adam, within 2 years. 17. However, Rick and Kim split up soon after Adam was born. Rick is left in a sad place for a while since the real reasons for their breakup are still unknown. 9 months after splitting from Kim, he eventually went on a blind double date with Tracy, his second wife. They committed to parenting Corey and Adam together after dating for 6 months, moving in together, and getting married 8 months later. Rick had enough money by the time he was 23 to join his father as a business partner. Using his expanding understanding of history and physics, Rick was able to improve his father's business. By adding historical background to each coin, for example, he would give the items more personality and raise their perceived worth in the eyes of consumers. Rick and his dad worked evenings repossessing vehicles during this period, but as his firm expanded, he quit working nights to concentrate on his day job. The family relocated to a bigger space on Fremont Street 5 years later. They lost their lease after 2 years, so they had to move again. As the next natural step, Rick and his father made the decision to convert the store into a pawn shop. They were unable to do so right away, nevertheless, because of a 1955 statute in Las Vegas that restricted the number of pawn licenses depending on the population of the city. The city had more than 200,000 residents by the 1980s and was expanding rapidly. Once the population reached 250,000, Rick and his father started contacting the city statistician every week to apply for a rare and highly sought-after pawn license. After the population hit that milestone in 1989, the Harrisons had to deal with further legal issues before they were granted a pawn license. Less than 2 miles from the Las Vegas Strip, at 713 Las Vegas Boulevard South, they founded the Gold and Silver Pawn Shop the same year. At first, they concentrated on selling historical artifacts and distinctive sports memorabilia, but jewelry quickly overtook them as their top seller. As the years went by, their company grew and became well known in Las Vegas. They were lending millions of dollars a year and earning hundreds of thousands of dollars in interest by 2005. The business gained notoriety the following year for rare sports memorabilia with intriguing backstories, such as a 2001 Super Bowl ring that was formerly held by football star Brock Williams. Additionally, they provided assistance to gamblers who pawned possessions to pay for their return trip. Pawn Stars was created as a result of the History Channel taking notice of their success. Brent Montgomery and Colby Gaines of Left Field Pictures. They were captivated by the local pawn shops and their distinctive personalities while they were in Las Vegas in 2008. They found the Gold and Silver Pawn Shop, which had over 10,000 items and was barely 2 miles from the Las Vegas Strip, while looking for a family-run business to highlight. The store had previously been the subject of a 2001 PBS documentary, and Rick, the manager and co-owner, had long desired a television program about his company. The idea finally found a home with History Channel, despite their original proposal to HBO not working out. The initial idea was transfer format that we now understand as family-friendly. The show's original name, Pawning History, was changed to Pawn Stars, a light-hearted reference to porn stars, which more accurately reflected its popularity. Only a few permitted customers would be able to enter the business when it was closed for shooting. The Harrison family gained a lot of fame thanks to the program, and viewers left excellent reviews and expressed desire in additional episodes, which helped it succeed and return every year. Med into the are credited with creating the program in January 2011. Pawn Stars surpassed Jersey Shore as the second highest-rated reality program and swiftly rose to the top of the History Channel's ratings. Rick's biography, licensed to Pawn Deals, Steals, and My Life at the Gold and Silver, was released on June 7, 2011, and on June 26, 2011, it was ranked number 22 on the New York Times bestseller list. However, Rick also went through a divorce with Tracy, his second wife, this year, so it was bittersweet for him. The next year, Rick announced his engagement to Deanna Burdett, despite having already gone through 2 divorces. Deanna has ALS on a professional level. Rick relished the success of the program and his growing fan base. As himself, he made an appearance alongside Chumlee and Corey in the iCarly episode, I Lost My Head in Vegas. He appeared on an episode of The Middle a few days later as the proprietor of an antique business. He married Deanna in Laguna Beach, California, about this time, and they had 3 kids together, Serena, Kiana, and Marissa. In January 2014, Rick appeared in a television ad for the Micro Touch One razor, a men's shaving product, and was appointed as its spokesperson. Been divorced in the past. Later that year, the History Channel debuted United Stuff of America, a program that featured important historical objects and was produced by the same people who created Pawn Stars. Rick, Corey, and Chumlee battled against participants to keep them from winning money and goods from the Gold and Silver Pawn Shop's inventory in the July 2014 debut of another program, Pornography, which aired on the History Channel. Even though Rick was successful, he still suffered uncontrollable personal losses. His father, Richard, who was lovingly referred to as the Old Man on Pawn Stars, passed away in June 2018. Rick informed his 45,000 Instagram followers of his father's tragic death, which was caused by Parkinson's illness. The news was verified by a Harrison family spokesman, who shared the identical message that Rick shared on Instagram. In addition to a touching remembrance, Rick shared a close-up of his 77-year-old father, who had assisted him in creating and managing his family company, wearing a black suit, matching spectacles, and in the company of his loved ones, Richard Benjamin, the Old Man. Harrison departed this morning. The Gold and Silver Pawn crew, his numerous followers across the world, and his family will all miss him terribly. A poignant note expressing grief over his departure was also published by the History Channel. We are extremely grieved by the loss of our friend Richard the Old Man Harrison, a treasured member of the Pawn Stars family. We shall miss his honesty and knowledge. We are thinking of the Harrison family at this trying time. Rick talked candidly about the influence his father had on him, stating, I was fortunate to have such a cool old man as my dad, and he was my hero. I'm glad I had the opportunity to introduce him to so many people who were able to witness what a fantastic family guy he was. He continued by saying, he lived a full life and taught the value of humor, hard work, and family through Pawn Stars, touching people everywhere. We beg for privacy during this time and appreciate everyone's prayers, and along with a second picture of his father in a Navy uniform as a young man, Rick wrote, "Today I lost a friend, a father, a teacher, and so much more. It was this morning when the old man lost his lengthy fight with Parkinson's. I adore you, Dad. On the other side, see you." After his father passed away, Rick and the Harrison family were devastated, and Rick was left to take care of the family and run the store Allenette's soon after. The COVID-19 pandemic in 2019 presented him with a new obstacle that had a big effect on his company. Pawn shops did not prosper during this period of financial hardship, despite what many may have predicted. At first, there was a slight increase in business, but it quickly declined. Rick spoke about how COVID-19 affected the pawn shop business, which was having trouble recovering, in an interview with Fox News. He saw that going to a pawn shop was no longer a priority since individuals were more concerned with surviving on a daily basis. To make matters worse, he was forced to temporarily stop his business in March 2020 due to an increase of cases. While banking services persisted, the tourism portion of the firm closed for 30 days. In an interview with a local Las Vegas news station in April 2020, Rick stated that he and his staff at the renowned gold and silver pawn shop were prepared to put in even more effort because he was determined to assist both his business and his community. We reduced interest rates on certain products and gave folks more time to retrieve their possessions since I recognized the hardships they were facing. Rick stated in an interview that he was hopeful the economy will improve in 6 months, saying, "I've been in this town for a long time. It's given me a lot, and I always try to give back." Unfortunately, he didn't heal as soon as he had planned. The gold and silver pawn shop, which normally makes over $1 million a year, only made $37,746 in 2020 as a result of the COVID-19 epidemic. According to the Daily Mail, Rick had to deal with the stress of a divorce from his third wife, Deanna, whom he had married in September 2020, on top of these financial difficulties. According to court records that TMZ was able to get, Rick and Deanna had become so estranged from one another that it was no longer feasible for them to stay married. Their tastes, opinions, and preferences had diverged too much to continue in marriage, Rick said in the petition. Since the divorce took place amid the nationwide George Floyd demonstrations, the public was mostly unaware of it in reference to Deanna's children from her previous marriage, Rick told TMZ. "I got 3 great daughters out of it," reflecting on the end of his marriage. He also said that the divorce was decided upon by all parties. As seen by his Instagram photos featuring father-daughter encounters, he noted that he has moved on and still views his stepdaughters as his own. In a photograph from August 7th, he wrote, "Father-daughter day off-roading," as the caption, demonstrating the close relationship he had with them. With the help of his son, Corey, Rick was able to continue on despite these personal obstacles. In an attempt to start a new chapter in their relationship, he wed Amanda Palmer, his 4th wife, a year later. However, when Rick encountered legal issues in February 2022 concerning his mother, Joanne Rue, family tensions increased. Regarding family assets and the ownership of the gold and silver pawn shop, Joanne sued Rick, according to USA Today. Rick, the pawn shop, Harrison Properties, Jorick Properties, and other parties were named as defendants in the civil claim that was filed in Nevada State Court. Their relationship was severely damaged by the case. According to Joanne's case, which accused Rick of breaching a contract, she inherited her late husband Richard's 49% stake in the store following his death in 2018. She also claimed that Rick had her give him a 51% stake in the store when she was in the hospital in the early 2000s and coming out of a coma, even though she allegedly didn't fully comprehend what she was signing. Because to this circumstance, Rick is now. Many supporters were taken aback by this circumstance since they had always thought of Rick as a family man who would never compromise his own family for financial gain in this instance. However, it seemed that he had done precisely that with his own mother. Joanne said she thought Richard had left over $500,000 in cash and silver before he passed away, but she had not been given the right documentation. Additionally, she said that Rick had ceased giving her the $225,000 in regular installments that her late husband had previously given her. Joanne requested that the courts restore this provision. Rick's mother, who is now over 80, reportedly had a number of health problems that required 24-hour care, which might cost up to $155,000 a month. In order to stop Rick from selling any family property, Joanne sought a temporary restraining order against him. This ruling also required Rick to give up control of her property through a constructive trust and prohibited him from relocating or hiding monetary assets. Supporters worried that Rick's fortune, while in a subsequent interview Rick said, "I think my 81-year-old mother is being influenced by others for their own gain, and the accusations are false. I've attempted to get in touch with her several times over the last few months, but I haven't been successful," he said, adding that he first learned about the restraining order requests from news stories. "In actuality, my mother owns all of one of the businesses she is suing. This court case went on until 2024. The year that would bring Rick his greatest catastrophe be in jeopardy." The tragic death of Rick's 39-year-old son, Adam, occurred in 2024. The death of Adam from a fentanyl and methamphetamine overdose was verified by a Clark County, Nevada, Public Information Police officer. It was determined that the death was unintentional by the Clark County Office of the Medical Examiner. After a tenant raised concerns about Adam's absence since January 17, the landlord decided to check on him. Law enforcement was alerted when Adam was discovered to be unconscious on January 19. Rick posted a picture of himself and Adam at a restaurant along with the tragic message, "You'll always be in my heart," on his Instagram. "I love you, Adam," with an emoji of a crushed heart. The family's representative, Laura Hervich, revealed on January 26 that Adam reportedly died from a fentanyl overdose. "We are very sorry to hear of Adam's demise. As we grieve his passing, kindly respect our privacy." In a statement, Rick discussed the issue and emphasized the pressing necessity for a significant response to the nation's fentanyl problem. Donald Trump Jr. was among the numerous individuals who sent their sympathies after he paid a heartfelt homage to Adam on Instagram, who only said, "I'm so sorry, man." On his Instagram page, Adam's older brother Corey also posted a picture of himself as a toddler with the caption, "I'll always love you, Bubba." Adam Harrison apparently worked at the gold and silver pawn shop for a while before becoming a plumber, despite the fact that he was not on Pawn Stars. Adam had previously shown no interest in appearing on the show. According to Corey, Rick has maintained his optimism despite the difficulties and sadness in his life, frequently burying his suffering behind his career. Along with his career pursuits, he started to dabble in politics, supporting Daniel Rodimer for Nevada's 3rd Congressional District in 2020 and Donald Trump for president. In 2022, Rick even contemplated a run for governor of Nevada, saying, "I always think about it, and many people in the party have talked to me about it. I'm keeping my choices open and haven't made up my decision yet." Rick commemorated another accomplishment in November 2023 when he was appointed a Kentucky colonel. During a Pawn Stars spin-off program that was largely shot in Locust Grove, he was given this award. The highest distinction bestowed by the governor of Kentucky is the title of Kentucky Colonel. Additionally, Rick's love situation seems to be getting better. His spokesman told People that he is presently seeing a nurse named Angie Pushkin in Las Vegas. Rick said in a statement, "I met Angie 6 months ago. She works in Las Vegas as a nurse. For the previous few weeks, we have been in Europe to celebrate her birthday." In addition, he shared a number of pictures of the pair looking dapper for a classy night out in Paris, providing insight into their relationship. Rick is considerably older than Angie, who is not the mother of his children. On Rick's post about the Eiffel Tower, several readers questioned their relationship, claiming he was looking at someone too young and calling his sophisticated and educated spouse a gold digger. By refusing to be lured by such comments, Rick demonstrated his ability to judge people and circumstances, despite several critics questioning whether Angie was really wanting his money. Rather, he welcomed a string of thrilling experiences with his just-discovered love. The pair celebrated Pushkin's birthday, went to see Adele in Las Vegas, met with Donald Trump, the Republican presidential contender and former president, and visited many London sites. Rick is working toward recovery following the death of his son, Adam, in June 2024. While dealing with legal troubles, financial losses, personal tragedies, and failed marriages, supporters are still holding out hope that he will recover. He is currently appearing in Season 2 of Pawn Stars Do America and no longer works full-time at the pawn business. Rick is making the most of his semi-retirement by spending time with his family and partner.